Good evening. I'm sorry, I'm slightly late because I was trying to engage some people on the suggested appeal. I was trying to engage some people. I was trying to find out how far people have gone on that appeal.
Like sugar on my tongue, your body is so sweet, invite me if you come.
Where is that one? So, yes, Swane. We all know the story, the decision of the court. We all know that the court ruled in favor of government. They ruled in favor of government that Edgar Lungu should be buried, should be repatriated to Zambia and be accorded a state funeral befitting the former head of state. I must say that I would have been here celebrating, rejoicing, and taunting our friends in PF and all those that were speaking all sorts of things against some of us because we took this position, which the court has upheld. But I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to come here and start saying, hey, you see, we told you what and what. No. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And why am I not doing that? I'm not doing that because really, there is no winner in this. There is no winner in this. I remember at one point when I was talking, and I was talking to somebody, and I must tell you that I was talking to somebody who is quite close to President Hakainde Hichilema. And he gave me the thought of President Hakainde Hichilema relating to this. And he told me that, look, the president is saying that this is not about win or lose. We just want to do the right thing. This is what somebody told me, to say, President Hakainde Hichilema is saying, no, this is not about win or lose. This is when this thing started, you know, when the scuffle started. And said, no, it's not about win or lose. And from that day onwards, I've looked at this differently. Of course, there have been times when I have been, you know, firm. There have been times when I've spoken strongly, especially on the widow, Lungu. But at the end of the day, when we have reached at this point, we stop politicking, we stop, you know, abusing each other, we stop. We come together as a nation. We lost our former head of state. We may not have agreed with him in a number of issues. We may have had issues against him. But now the man is gone. The man is gone. This is what we should not forget. President Edgar Lungu is gone. He's gone. And when the man is gone, what we do is mourn him. When the man is gone, we speak positively how he contributed to the nation, how he contributed to different individuals. This is what we do. This is what we do. It is unfortunate that we have reached, we have gone through all this. We didn't need to go through all this that we have gone through. We didn't need to do that. It's really unfortunate. Unfortunately, but fortunately, we are here now. We are here now. The decision of the court is very clear. Let Edgar Lungu be repatriated to Zambia and be accorded a state funeral, as it were. We need to unite. Now, I am disappointed. I am really disappointed. First of all, I think I will say I'm disappointed on both sides. I'm disappointed, first of all, let me start with the UPND. I'm disappointed with the UPND. Not all of them, especially some cadres. You know, like I saw one cadre who was saying, hey, he's coming home. Hey, he's going to sleep at whatever, Embassy Park and whatever. I am very disappointed. I'm even disappointed, I'm going to mention, because I've stood here, you know, to defend her, to speak for her. And so when she does something wrong, I should be able to come out here also and speak about it. I'm with the mayor of Livingstone. I'm disappointed with the mayor of Livingstone, especially herself. As a mayor, I think she should be more sober in the way she handles some of these things. She cannot be coming out like an ordinary cadre, like some of these cadres. So by UPND, those of you who were saying Kwenyu, this is Kwenyu, this is not Kwenyu. This is not Kwenyu. You are misplacing your Kwenyu. You are misplacing your Kwenyu. You cannot bring your Kwenyu on the funeral of somebody. You can't do that. You are overdoing your Kwenyu. And you know, when you overdo your Kwenyu, when you overdo something, you irritate some people. This is where you even irritate some of us. And this is where you say, no, Tayali are not reliable. Hey, Tayali are not reliable. It is this kind of things. Because for me, yes, I can be agreeing with you, but I will not agree with you when you do nonsense. That quenue that you are putting on the outcome of the court is very wrong. Very wrong. And I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. What are you quenuring? What are you quenuring? Edgar Lungu is gone. What are you quenuring? What are you saying quenu about? This man is dead. Edgar Lungu is dead. And we are bringing him to the country so that we can bury him in dignity. It's not about quenu. It's not about quenu. So I'm very disappointed. I am very disappointed. I want to register this. I am very disappointed. You are a ruling party. You are a ruling party. And as a ruling party, you need to be mature. This is what you, by UPND, you need to grow into. You need to grow into the fact that you are the ruling party. So, in terms of behavior, the rest of us can even be careless, but not you as a ruling party. It doesn't matter at which level you are. You need to know. I was very disappointed. I was really disappointed. Even with Max Moe. Even with Max Moe, he put his quenu there. No, guys. No, you don't do that. You don't do that. Be responsible. Start behaving like a ruling party. Put on the maturity that is befitting a ruling party. You are ruling all of us. Even when we don't agree with you, your responses must be different. Look at President Hakainde Hichilema himself. President Hakainde Hichilema, when he started, he was also acting more like an opposition leader. But President Hakainde Hichilema has matured in his presidency that these days you see a statesman. And that's what it should be. When you are the leader, yes, you are a political leader, but you are a president for everyone. And you should carry yourself as a statesman. Not one just belonging to one side, no, but to everyone. So even you, by UPND, you are not in opposition. Drop this. Be responsible. Be responsible. I'm not saying you shouldn't do politics. I'm not saying you shouldn't respond to the opposition. You should. But the responsibility must be there. Especially when you are occupying an office such as the spokesperson of the party. When you are occupying a position as a mayor, there must be responsibility. You can't just be quenuring anyhow. You are going to irritate us. Muzati tinkisa na kwenyu yano. You can't just be quenuring pali pose kwenyu nonsense. And then you kona vikwenyu vyano. Ala, muzati tinkise iyai. Mwitutwendwisha. Because tunga fiachilamo. Fialamba fukumonega fata useless. Today me supporta, today for 2026 mukawele. But mwileka tutampo kumwena mwada vana wava. Chilishani. So tapali filamule chitafidia, filamwachila lemba fidia. Pati ba Edgar Lungu celebrating, shanchani ese awe. It's not supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be like that. So I'm very disappointed with you. And I will say that by UPND, we have reached this stage. Can you show leadership? Can you show the leadership so that we get back into national mourning and we bury in dignity? You have got a huge responsibility to make this event a somber moment. You have got this responsibility to make sure that people look at us to say we are a mature country. It lies in your hands by UPND. It lies in your hands. This lies in your hands. You have got the huge responsibility to make this whole thing look like something that we would say, well, we had our differences, but look what we have done. The responsibility is on you. It is not on Esther Lungu. It is not on the Lungu family. It is not on PF. The responsibility is on you. So how you handle this, it is like this plane is in the air. This plane is in the air. And it is you to navigate the terrains up there and finally land this plane. That is not easy. The responsibility is on you. There is PR involved. There is damage control. There is, the way everything is going to go. You have to handle that very well. I'll talk about it later on, but I just wanted to register my disappointment and call upon my UPND to say, please, can we handle ourselves properly here? You are the ruling party. But on the other hand, I'm also disappointed with particularly the family. I'll say the family. I will not drag the PF in this. I will not drag the PF. I am particularly disappointed with the family. And narrowing it down, unfortunately, it will have to go down to the former First Lady, unfortunately. Because, at this point, I really expected them, to soften up. Look, you people, you have had a long time to ponder on this. You have had a long time. You have had a long time. Lungu died 2 months ago. You have had all this time to think through things. And remember, when this thing started, some of us told you that, look, the South African government has clearly said they want Edgar Lungu to be buried in Zambia. They want Edgar Lungu to be buried in Zambia. From the word go, the South African government had clearly stated that they wanted Edgar Lungu to be buried in Zambia. They wanted Edgar Lungu to be buried in Zambia. You were busy, with your propaganda. South African government, South African minister, whatever. They have been very clear. The issue where they were saying, we also have to consider the family. They were just being courteous. They were just being sympathetic. But as a government, South Africa wanted Edgar Lungu to be buried in Zambia. When that minister came to see President Hakainde Hichilema in Zambia, and they had private discussion, what do you think those private discussions were? You can take an indication of what those private discussions were by the statement of President Hakainde Hichilema when they came out to talk to the media. President Hakainde Hichilema insisted, he is our president, we must bury him here. He insisted. If the discussion were otherwise, Hakainde Hichilema wouldn't have come out so strongly, so positive about the fact that Edgar Lungu should be buried in Zambia. So please, I was saying this even before, that don't be excited by the sympathy that they had, by the way they wanted to handle the family, not to look like they are being uncouth. The South African government wanted Edgar Lungu to be buried in Zambia. The courts were also very clear. The courts didn't want to rule on this matter. They didn't. But clearly, if you go to court and you are saying, no, we want this, and then the court sends you back to say, go and negotiate it, go and talk. Do you really think that the court is in your favor? You want to have a divorce, and you go to court, and the court hears you, and the court looks at you and says, go and talk. Do you think the court wants you to divorce? No. No. The court didn't want to rule on this. And the court, this is not AI. These are human beings. These are human beings who listens when their government talk. These are human beings who listens when the citizens of their countries speak. These are human beings who listens when Zambians, in this case, talk. Who listens when the president speaks out? They listen. These are human beings with common sense. And surely, imwe ba family. Do you really think there is? I can't believe you that you think that, there are people out there that will support you to say a former head of state should be buried in South Africa. You really shock me. I can't understand you. Even yourselves, you know. Even yourselves, you know that the right thing is that Edgar Lungu should be buried in Zambia. Because even if you wanted to bury Edgar Lungu in South Africa, even if you had buried Edgar Lungu in South Africa, the issue is that it would have been temporal. At one point, you would have had to bring him back into the country for burial. So the right thing is him just being buried in Zambia, other than burying him in South Africa and then later on bring him back. So at this point in time, I'm disappointed to see that these people have not softened their hearts. These people still think that there are people out there that are on their side. I don't think there are people that are on your side. Even the PF themselves, even Given Lubinda himself, even Brian Mundubile himself, even Mutoto Kafuaya, banani ba PF venubali ba PF, including other opposition that are seemingly supporting you, including the Fred Membe, including Valiaba Vananikani va miracle president Vakalava. Unless Tautonton Kanyafye win. Unless you are not fit to be a leader. Only if you are not fit to be a leader can you support a position that Edgar Lungu should be buried outside Zambia. But if you really are a true leader, there is no way you would accept that. You would accept that Edgar Lungu should be buried outside Zambia. There is no way. There is no leader with his sword who would support the position of the family. There is no way. There is just no way. these people who are chanting, even these who are coming here on social media to insult us, even them, they know. They're just supporting because this is the position that Esther Lungu has taken, and they're supporting it. They don't want to defile Esther Lungu like some of us have done, like I have done. Me, have defiled. There is nothing what we have just differed on this issue, and I've taken my position. I've got the courage, but many others don't have the courage. They don't have the courage, and they want to benefit politically. They want to benefit politically. This is why they are supporting Esther Lungu. Some of them, it is the hatred against Hakainde Hichilema. But really, hatred, if you are maintaining hatred, we can have politics, we can differ on political grounds. But hatred shouldn't be there. Hatred shouldn't be there. Hatred shouldn't be there. You keep saying, no, but you are in exile. You are in exile. Yes, I'm in exile. Yes, I'm in exile. I'm because of the UPND. But trust me, I'm not going to bring bitterness on Hakainde Hichilema or UPND because I'm in exile. No. I will argue on issues substantively, reasonably, objectively. The point I'm trying to make is that I'm disappointed with Makebi Zulu because Makebi Zulu has a big role. Has a big role in this. Makebi Zulu has an influence on the Lungu family. He has an influence. But unfortunately, Makebi Zulu, the way I know him, Makebi Zulu doesn't want to negotiate. Makebi Zulu doesn't want to negotiate. Makebi Zulu always wants to stand out like, he has the truth. He is right. Makebi Zulu is never wrong. He's never wrong. Makebi Zulu doesn't have the maturity to look at things to say, apata filemoneka win. Can we engage? He doesn't have it. He's such an arrogant young man. Such an arrogant young man. But Makebi Zulu has costed a number of people. Makebi Zulu has costed a number of people, even in his career as a lawyer. I don't want to start citing cases, but there are cases where Makebi Zulu, because of the stubbornness, because of the arrogance of Makebi Zulu, he has costed some people. Trust me, even some of you who like to say, no, Makebi Zulu helped you, Makebi Zulu helped you. There are times when I had to differ with Makebi Zulu's ideas. I can tell you, there have been times when I have taken a different position. Whilst Makebi Zulu is saying this, I have chosen to go the other way because I know the guy can be so arrogant. You can have the power, you can have the intelligence, you can have the money, but arrogance brings you down. This is what you have to know. Arrogance brings you down. When you are being arrogant, like with the way some of you by UPND want to be doing, kwenyu, trust me, that is arrogance. You don't need that. And that is the arrogance that Makebi Zulu has. Makebi Zulu is so arrogant, and he doesn't have the wisdom to know when to back down. Some of us, we back down. It's not because, we are foolish. Sometimes you even have to apologize. Even when you know that you're not wrong, you have to apologize. It is part of our human nature. It's part of humility. Sometimes you have to apologize, even when you know that you are right. Even when you know that what you said is true. Even when you know that what you said is true. But when you assess the situation, you back down, you even apologize. I don't lie. And I've never come here to speak against anyone falsely, to malign anyone. I have never done that. I have never done that. I can assure you that. I've never come here to lie, to blatantly lie against somebody. I haven't. But there are times when I've been made to apologize. Even though when I know that what I said is true. But I've been able to apologize. So it's the same thing with Makebi Zulu. Makebi Zulu is a lawyer. And if Makebi Zulu insisted to advise the family properly, we wouldn't be where we are. But Makebi Zulu doesn't want to lose. Makebi Zulu, for him, this is a win or loss. But Makebi Zulu, I mean, how many times have you lost? How many? You have been so arrogant. You stand so stiff on some of these issues. But at the end of the day, you have lost. One of the big cases that you have lost is the eligibility case. The eligibility case. Some of us, we were talking about that eligibility case. And you didn't want to listen to us because you thought you had the arguments in court. We were saying this eligibility case is not about the courts. This is politics. But Makebi Zulu thought he's so intelligent and he has got, the wits to daze the judges and just agree with him. At the end of the day, you lost that case. Even on this case, Makebi Zulu kept on, giving hope, to some of these people that they are going to win and what. He went on Emmanuel Mwamba's page the other day and a number of people followed and Makebi Zulu was there, articulating issues, misleading people. Today, the ruling has come out. Where is the story that Makebi Zulu was talking about? Where is the story? Where is the story? Makebi Zulu was saying, Edgar Lungu has refused to go down. Edgar Lungu will not go down. Will not touch dust until his story is told. Was your story told, Makebi Zulu? And what is that story? The story of bitterness, the story of hatred. That is your story. And the court refused to hear your story in court. They refused. What is your story? What are you arguing about? What are you arguing about? What has been your issue? Your issue has simply been two issues. No, Edgar Lungu said Hakainde Hichilema should not participate in my funeral. What is that? Bitterness. What is that? Bitterness, nothing else. Bitterness. No, the family want Edgar Lungu to be buried in South Africa. What is that? Not because they don't want Hakainde Hichilema to be part of the funeral. What is that? Hatred against one individual. One individual. Your story has been nothing, and I want this to go on record, that this case has lingered to where it is today. It has only been based on two issues: bitterness and hatred against Hakainde Hichilema. Hatred against Hakainde Hichilema because he's the Republican president. Nothing else. Nothing else. You hate Hakainde Hichilema because he kicked you out of power. You can't still accept that Hakainde Hichilema is ruling the country. I see a number of PF have failed to come to reality, to come to terms with the fact that Hakainde Hichilema is a Republican president. It has been very difficult for people to accept that name. That name, Hakainde Hichilema, is a Republican president. And this is why you find it easy to say, no, we should hold a state funeral and the president is not there. It is because you don't accept him as president. It is because you don't see him as president. You still see him as a little boy that is in opposition who you can toss around and put him in a little corner whilst the nation is doing something as important as a national mourning. This is what it is. You don't realize. Some of you have been saying, Amakebi Zulu was saying, no, you won't die if you are not there. What is that? What is that if not hatred against one man? What is that? And some of you have been accepting that, no, why shouldn't he there? Why can't he just dedicate? You don't know what you have been talking about. You don't know what you are agreeing to. You want to suspend this man who is a Republican president. You want to suspend him. Whilst there is a big issue going on, you want to suspend him. He is a Republican president. You cannot just put him aside. You can't. You can't just put him aside. You can't just put him aside. Oh, Lord. No, he didn't treat Edgar Lungu properly. Whatever. You can say all that. You can say all that. And I agree with you to some extent. But politics is always like that. Politics is always like that. Politics, you have to go through these challenges. You talk about me, hey, you are in opposition, you are in exile, hey, you are suffering. Hey, now you are even saying, I've sold my kidney. Because I'm suffering, I've sold my kidney. Politics is just like that. And if you are a politician worth his salt, you shouldn't be bitter. You shouldn't be bitter. You shouldn't be bitter. So your grounds in insisting that Edgar Lungu should be buried in South Africa, your grounds are very flimsy. Your grounds are baseless. Your grounds are not right. Simply, they are just not right. They are not right. And these grounds, no matter how far you will go in court, you will reach the highest court in South Africa. You can even take to the international court. Believe you me, you will never succeed. You will never succeed. You have no grounds. We followed the trial. We followed the trial. That lawyer is a good lawyer. The lawyer of the family is a good lawyer. He's one of the top lawyers in South Africa. But he couldn't argue this case because the case is bad. It is not that that lawyer is a bad guy. No, he's a bad lawyer. No, the lawyer is good. But the case is a very bad case. How do you spin it? How do you spin it? On hatred. No, he said Edgar Lungu shouldn't be there. That is the wish of the dead man. No, the family says no, we have not been treated well, so we don't want to bury in Zambia. Those are the reasons. Those are the only two reasons that you have. One, Edgar Lungu said Hakainde Hichilema should have nothing to do with my funeral. Number two, the family is saying we were treated bad. We don't consider Edgar Lungu as a former head of state. These are the two reasons that you have. Where can you take that and be heard? Where? Where can you take that and be heard? Where? Where? Which court? So you go wherever you want. This case will never be turned around. It will never be turned around. It will never be turned around because the arguments are baseless. The arguments are not uniting the country. The arguments are not patriotic. The arguments are not respectful to the head of state. They are not. They are not. And there is no court that is going to stand with you. There is no government that is going to stand with you. I said it even before. There is no way the South African government will be there getting excited to see another head of state embarrassed that he shouldn't be part of the funeral. There is no way. But you people, you have disappointed me that even at this point in time, you are still insisting on your bitterness, on your hatred. My plea is this one. I know somehow it's going to reach you. My plea, I'm pleading with you, the family. I'm pleading with you. I'm pleading with you. Lungu. We can remedy this situation. I strongly believe that even at this point in time, Hakainde Hichilema can consider some of your concerns. I am very convinced that at this point in time, Hakainde Hichilema and his government can still consider some of your issues. Let us not pretend that the issues of the court are not part of all these issues. They are part of this. They are part of this. I strongly believe that if you reached out in humility, not in the arrogance of Makebi Zulu. Makebi Zulu is not going to take you anywhere. Find another lawyer. Listen to me. Mayowa Esther Lungu. At this point in time, I know you are very worried of going to Zambia. But I'm telling you that even at this point in time, you can engage another lawyer, a more mature lawyer, not the youthful, arrogant Makebi Zulu. An enthusiast who is standing on no grounds. Makebi Zulu is standing on no ground. And yet he's there trying to look like there is something that he has. You have nothing, Makebi Zulu. You have nothing. But if the family considered engaging another lawyer, a mature man, for example, Vachangano, why don't you consider Vachangano? Why don't you consider Vachangano? For example, I'm just giving an example, one lawyer. A lawyer like Vachangano. Vachangano, you know, that man is a very mature man. I know him. I've spoken to him. I have seen him negotiate. Vachangano can help the situation. Not that little boy that you have at Makebi Zulu. That boy is not helping you. That boy has costed a number of people in their cases. Consider another lawyer. Consider another lawyer to engage for you. I am saying this because I know you are scared to come to Zambia. I know you want to boycott coming to Zambia. I'm saying that is not wise. That is not wise. Boycotting coming to Zambia is not wise. The best thing that you, Bamaeva Esther Lungu, I'm emphasizing on you because you are the wife, you are the next king. I'm really imploring on you that you consider coming with the body to Zambia. But since you are scared about this, consider another lawyer. Consider another lawyer, especially one who is in Zambia. Let him engage. Let him go to see Bakavesha. He's the Attorney General. He's the lawyer of the country. The Attorney General can engage the DPP. The legal team can go and engage the president over this matter. The legal team can go and engage the president. And when they sit, they can come up with something that is workable for all of us, for the good of the nation. You don't need a big delegation. You just need one lawyer, one mature lawyer. And one example that I've given is Bachangano. Bachangano can go and see Bakavesha. Bakavesha can sit with the Solicitor General, with the DPP, with the legal presidential advisor, Chris Mundia. These people, they can sit. And once they sit, they can go and see the president. And the outcome can be good for the Lungu family and the nation. This is my plea. Bamaeva Esther, don't say no. Okay, let them go and bury and whatever. You may have the money. You may look at it to say, we will survive out here. I'm out here. I know what it means to live out here. Yes, we are at different levels. You are former First Lady. Yes, you have money. I know you have money. But, Bamaeva Esther Lungu Ndemieva, to finish 1 year outside Zambia is a long time. It's a long time. Zambia is your home. Mwalikwata mwebe nefo muchita Zambia. You know your roots. You know how you live your life. To come and live a life out here, it's not easy. Especially when you have not planned for it. It's not easy. What are you going to be doing out here? What are you going to be doing? It's not easy. I know some people will say, hey, what about you? Why are you not coming? You are advising others to go to do this and that. What about you? Why can't you use the medicine that you're prescribing for others? There is a difference. Myself and the former First Lady, there is a big difference. Bamaeva Esther Lungu, never former First Lady. I'm just a public lawyer. Yes, I've got the influence. Yes, I'm ubiquitous. But I've never been in government. I've never held any big position in government. Inendifye muntu wamba ndife muntu yawe lulumbi lwa mulanda nga njishibikwa nokwishibikwa lulumbi lwa mulanda ine ndi mulanda nakosafe pakanwa. And that is how I'm even recognized. But otherwise, who am I? Let's just face it. Me, I'm real. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? I've never even been a counselor. Never. I've never been. So you can't compare me na Wamaeva Esther Lungu. You can't. You can't even compare me na Esther Lungu, na Tasila Lungu. You can't. You can't even compare me to any of the children of Edgar Lungu. You can't. Because their father was a former head of state. He was a former head of state. Apa liponse epo basangwa nangu mulika chasu basangwa mwana wa balungu basangwa mulika chasu. They will always be saying the former head of state's son or daughter. That is huge. That is huge. By the very fact that you are related to the former head of state, that is huge. Inendi muntu yawe. I'm not anything. So you can't compare myself na wa Esther Lungu. You can't. But my Esther Lungu, no matter what, ilio babeka toku batola mchifungo, the world will pay attention. The world will listen. The world will be looking at Zambia. So my Esther Lungu, you can't compare her to me. She has a better leverage to engage on her issues than I do. So Wamaeva Esther Lungu, the only thing that she needs to do is to find somebody mature, is to take a humble position. When they take a humble position, I strongly believe that their cases would be different from my cases. I strongly believe that. I strongly believe that. But Wamaeva Esther Lungu cannot continue going kumakoti after going through all this. Baka inde Ichilema will look bad. Even if Baka inde Ichilema has got the hatred, it will be very difficult. It will be very difficult. It will be very difficult for Baka inde Ichilema, even if he doesn't want. If Wamaeva Esther Lungu take that position to engage, Wamaeva Esther Lungu flies to Zambia with the coffin to ashika wino fifyanse fyaenda fibwino. It will be very difficult to prosecute Wamaeva Esther Lungu. It will be very difficult. In the eyes of many Zambians, they will sympathize with her. And Zambians bali kwa toluse. They can be saying whatever they are saying, but ngabamona wambo ulechula we muntu, they come to your aid. Inapa nalilwala. When I was sick in daily refilamba pano social media, look how many people sympathize with me. Even those that didn't like me, they sympathized with me. They wished me well. That is the spirit of Zambians. Avena Zambia bali kwa toluse. Avena Zambia tawafa omuntu kumona omuntu alechula. Tefye baba avena Zambia twali kwa temiti meshishuma. So if Balungu really, Wamaeva Esther Lungu humbles herself and not follow the whimsy, youthful, arrogant Makebi Zulu, engages somebody mature, comes with the coffin and everything, Zambians will not want to see her suffering. I am very sure. Even Hakainde Ichilema, I don't think Hakainde Ichilema we will love to see her going through those challenges. I know na mukose mitima. I know kudinoko yawe banani niba former first lady abatureranda bamukamfuirwa. The dynamics are totally different from all those that you can talk about. The dynamics are different. The only issue is that if they can humble themselves, other than this route that they are taking, of appeal, still continue fighting, will not take them anywhere. At the end of the day, South Africa, bala basula fimo, bala basula elo bala bapata mu South Africa, bala basula elo bala bapata. Ukwebati abantu aba tebantu abatunturu tabakwate mitima meshisuma. South Africa will not be happy with them. South Africa will be irritated by their presence in that country. And they will find it difficult to live. Even if they have the money, they will find it difficult to live out here. But my Esther Lungu, she's better off back in Zambia. Somebody saying, no, the appeal has been rejected. I don't think so. I don't think so. But then, and this is the issue now. The issue is now, going forward on the funeral. I was saying that by UPND na wali wako slow. By UPND wali wako slow in the way they do some of these things. Even when by Edgar Lungu died, you must take responsibility that government would have acted more swiftly than they did. Some of the things that came to pass were as a result of government being slow in the way they handled things. For example, that announcement was surely delayed. Government did not take possession of the situation. Government did not take possession of the funeral of Edgar Lungu. Soon after Edgar Lungu died, government did not move in quickly to take possession of everything. To lead, they didn't. They didn't. Government did not take leadership in the funeral of Edgar Lungu. When he died, immediately he died. They didn't. And thereby, they allowed Tasila Lungu and Makebi Zulu to take charge. Because government, they snoozed. Government snoozed. They did not take leadership. And when, politics is involved, if you firm politics, if you don't take leadership, if you don't take the position quickly, somebody else takes the position. So one of the mistakes that you made in UPND is that you snoozed when Edgar Lungu died. You did not give direction. You did not give leadership. And you lost control. And this is why things ended up where we are today. Now, a ruling has been made in South Africa. A ruling has been made in South Africa. Believe me, this is 20 hours. That ruling was done around 12 hours. There is nothing from government up to now. There is nothing. There is nothing from government. There is no leadership. This is the issue. So, government team, you didn't prepare for this outcome, because if you are an alert government, you would have prepared what you are going to do in the event that the court rules against you. You would have prepared what you are going to do in the event that the situation turns out the way it has gone. But from 12 hours, 20 hours in a panel. In Asia, I'm addressing the country. I am sure Emmanuel Mwamba is also doing his thing. Tomorrow morning is Saturday. And with the attitude, Waka in the HLM used to say, you know, it's work. I'm sorry to tell you that I haven't seen that in your government. Your government sleeps. Your government goes on holiday. Your government goes on Saturday and Sunday. No, me, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that enthusiasm, that change of work ethics. Me, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. And one good example is Edgar Lungu. And you see, this is the problem. That's why I'm better off here, because, you know, Ngandi Muzambia, it might be difficult for me to say some of these things. That's why Nadivako resistant. Pantuine, I speak objectively. I want to speak the truth. I'm not a sycophant. I'm not just a praise singer. So there is a problem with the government of Waka in the HDMA. There is a laissez-faire attitude. And you are just lucky that there is no good opposition. If there was a good opposition, many times you have been caught napping on a number of issues. Even some of us, even me, if I were really speaking against you, there are a number of times when I would have criticized you big time. Because a number of times you are caught napping. In Edgar Lungu situation, you were sleeping. You allowed the Lungu family, particularly Makebi Zulu, to take charge. Abwela pastor na nani kanoko. A pastor na Emmanuel Mwamba. A pastor na nani kane na Lilian Mutambo. And they were all over the show. Teku yumfwa. Some of us helped you. We were not part of your government, but we helped you. If some of us were not jumping in critical moments, this situation would have been worse off. But we were jumping in, seeing that, and we were jumping in. But from your own point of view, no. I'm telling you, government is not easy to run. Government take over to you, Max Mue, because Max Mue, I keep talking about this. Max Mue, you will not turn around the narrative of a country by every day having press conferences. You can have 1,000 press conferences. 1,000 press conferences. But you will not turn around the agenda. You will not turn around the agenda. So already you are snoozing here. Now mu in a case kalikuli. Now mu in a case. You have won this case. Yes, Vakavesha spoke, but did Vakavesha give direction? Did Vakavesha give direction? What is going to follow? Ama hours of wingi. Look, count how many hours have passed from the time that ruling was made. Count how many hours have passed. And yet, you have not given direction for the country to know which direction they are going. You haven't. That is sleeping on duty. Here, Plea But then the appeal. Hey, there's an appeal. Hey, the appeal has failed. Who is going to clarify that? Who is going to clarify that? I was talking, I'm saying, no, a Pangen program, and people are responding to me, oh, there is an appeal, oh, there is an appeal, oh, there is an appeal. Hey, whatever. And the government is quiet. So who is going to confirm if there is an appeal or not? And then, what is going to happen to the body of Edgar Lungu? What? What is going to happen? Where is the body? Because the court ruled to say, immediately after this, the family should surrender the body. Have they surrendered the body? Have they surrendered the body? Who is going to tell us? You are waiting for rumors to come in. You are waiting for propaganda to come in to say, after all, we have not even given them the body. Whatever. And then the people will be celebrating, oh, they are not in control. They thought they are in control. You're already sleeping. Just that Karuma going round to say, there is an appeal, there is an appeal. That is a pushback. That is a pushback in the morale of people. It's a pushback. There were people now who were saying, okay, yeah, now this thing is happening now. Okay, so Edgar Lungu is going to be brought here. And there are people now who are sitting here, they are even waiting to hear from me to say, what has happened with the appeal? Is the body going to come? Surely, should that be coming from me? Should that be coming from me? Where is the government to restore the confidence of the people? Where is the government to make people confident that, yes, our government is in charge of this? Where is the government? Where is the government? I'm telling you, ukumia vechinka ba UPND, mule tolo wapona, because there is no opposition. Because there is no opposition. Even me, ni tetimi bepe ba UPND, if I were really against you, if I were really against you, I would have been poking holes, serious. I would have been doing so much damage in your government. Because you are sleeping. Muribatu loba UPND. Imamu mona kwa tibakada, wale kwa tibakada wachila imba, kwenu. Your kwenu has no legs to stand on. Your kwenu, it has no legs to stand on. And already it is becoming to irritate people. It is starting to irritate people. You are very poor by UPND. I can tell you that. And I'm speaking about this situation right now. The court ruled, and within a short time, they fused in something to, to deflate the confidence, the excitement. There is an appeal. Is there an appeal? And if there is that appeal, what is the implication to Edgar Lungu coming to Zambia? What is the implication? The question is, who is going to tell the people that? Who is going to tell the people that? Who is going to tell the people? People are going to sleep. Mailo wakala bukanipa Saturday. Patrick Kango waka wakunga ndana balala. Atinipa Saturday lero. Tatuwomba, I'm a civil servant. Sunday ikapite. Monday, ero mkata mpokula ikala. Hey, so what are we going to do? And I don't know when you are going to address this issue. But you think the propagandists are sleeping? You think they are sleeping? They are not sleeping. By tomorrow morning, they will be running an agenda. Lilian Mutambo, upon Deranda Katushirian Mutambo for Deranda. Upon Deranda, I don't know what Emmanuel Mwamba is saying. Upon Deranda, I don't know what Makebi Zulu is scheming. And Imwe, you are backwards. Even when you are supposed to be in front. Because by now, there would have been a directive from government. I know. Some people will say, no, hey, because we haven't done this, we haven't done this, we haven't done this. That is not clever. You must make sure that you hold the attention of the people. You must make sure that you hold the attention of the people. You must make sure that people look up to you for information. Don't allow people to start looking around, looking, what is Tayali saying? What is Emmanuel Mwamba saying? What is Lilian Mutambo saying? What is the chair saying? No. You are supposed to be leading the narrative. We're supposed to be following in government's narrative. No mapata mkwe tena narrative. Because na ine pano, if I'm not patriotic, I would have been saying something else here. I would have been saying something else here. I would have been destroying what you have done in South Africa. You have done something very good there. But if I was not patriotic, I would have been destroying what you have done there. And you would have been 5 steps backwards for you to come and undo whatever damage that I could have been doing. Lucky, I'm not doing damage. I'm on your side. But Imo, you are sleeping. This situation, ukutamba feku faced. Ile mwa Edgar Lungu nafwa. He would have issued a statement. He would have issued a statement. And I remember I was even talking to some of you people in government to say, you don't have to give details. You simply have to say details will follow. You give like a short statement and you say details will follow. People who start getting excited, who start looking forward to say, but government na balanda, turero refu ba government bala tuwe. Mwaikele vendui. Apana mwikala ndui. So, what is going to follow? What is going to follow? You had all this time, 2 months, this case has been in court. Surely you couldn't envisage what was going to come, or you couldn't prepare for either situations. Because you would have prepared. If the court says this is the one who's going to talk, and this is what he's going to say. If the court rules in our favor, this is what we are going to say to the people, and this is the one that is going to speak. And that statement would have been already done. So many hours after that, there is no statement from the government. It's disappointing. It's disappointing. So, since you are not talking, let us talk for you. Let us give you direction. Kaide from lefwa. Now mu in their case. And the appeal, whatever it is that they are doing, will not stand. Whatever these people are doing, it will not stand. I don't think, yes, an appeal does not automatically stay the execution. An appeal does not automatically stay the execution. Okay? Meaning, the court has ruled in favor of government. And since they have ruled in favor of government, it does, even if the Lungu family appeals, it doesn't mean that automatically the body cannot move. Those orders, the court gave orders. Those orders are effective until the court puts a stop to them. Those orders, Please na papata ndefwa mungu mfikisha wino on this one. The court has ruled in favor of the government. And they have given orders, particularly 2 orders, which are very important, that the body of Edgar Chagwa should be repatriated from South Africa to Zambia. Those are orders. Number 2, that the family of Edgar Chagwa should release the body. Should release the body. These orders, they are there, they are effective as we speak. There is nothing that is going to stop those orders. There is nothing that is going to stop orders until the court itself makes a ruling. Meaning to say, if those with the Lungu families want to appeal, they can push in an appeal. But the orders, by the fact that you have put in an appeal, it doesn't automatically mean there is a stay or the orders have become ineffective. A good example I can give you is the by-elections that we just had in Imfue. Even in Lumezi, where Munia Zulu is. These guys, some of these guys have appealed their cases. If not all of them, they have appealed their cases. But ECZ has gone ahead to have by-elections. The appeals are there. But we have had by-elections and new MPs have already taken over. So it's the same thing with this issue. An appeal does not automatically stay the execution or stop the orders. So those orders are in effect right now. And since those orders are effective and can only be stopped by the court, meaning somebody has to go and make an application to say, we are appealing, and we are seeing your tummy, boss. Yes, you are seeing my tummy because my tummy is not okay and I need to hold my muscles. When I'm talking muscles on my stomach, they contract, so and that's why I'm holding. But I need to speak about this. Since by UPND they are not talking. If I stop talking, if I don't talk, only Emmanuel Mwamba will be talking and Didier Mutambo, and people will be misled. So I have to talk. Anyway, so the appeal does not automatically stop the execution. The execution is in effect. Those orders are in effect. And this government, the government of Hakainde Hichilema, should move swiftly. The government of Hakainde Hichilema should ignore the appeal nonsense. They should not allow the appeal to come and overshadow the positive direction that has come from the court. They shouldn't allow that. And I'm telling you people that don't be preoccupied with the appeal. Don't be preoccupied with the appeal. Let us focus on it now, the burial of Edgar Chagwa. Let us look forward to receiving Edgar Chagwa in Zambia. This is what is going to happen. Iyo appeal yavo. Let them continue with their appeal. The order is still there. The order is still there. And government should be acting on the order and not on the narrative of Makebi Zulu. Makebi Zulu fiavo. Fiavo na Makebi Zulu fiavo. Let them be celebrating appeal yabo. That appeal is theirs. There is no order to stay the execution. There is no order to stop the repatriation. There is no order to stop the burial. There is no order for the Lungu family to hold on to the body. There is no order. The order that is there now is that they should release the body. The order that is there now is that the body should come to Zambia. And today is Friday. Tomorrow is Saturday. Sunday. An order can be effected. Tomorrow, that order can be effected. If you move a UPND, you are swift. That order should have been executed before the end of today. If it was Makebi Zulu who was given those orders, that if let's imagine the body was in the hands of the government, and then Makebi Zulu receives an order that the government should release the body, I can assure you by now Makebi Zulu would have taken hold of the body. By now. If it was Makebi Zulu, if that order went in favor of Makebi Zulu, the body was in the hands of the government, Makebi Zulu by now would have made sure that he is in possession of the body. Makebi Zulu would have made sure that by tomorrow morning, arrangements would have been made, were going to be coming. Look how they moved in terms of the burial. When they changed that, no, we are going to bury in South Africa, look how swift they were. They were very swift. Very swift. Did you see? Did you see how swift they were? Because ndivyo kumyeba imokwati ba government imumule waya. When Makebi Zulu na ba Shani, they changed, they said we're going to bury here. They were swift. They were swift. They had already prepared a church. They had already bought the body. They had already bought the tickets. They had already brought in the archbishop. Boom. They were in South Africa, ready for burial within hours. Within hours. Imwe bakwenyu, with your government. The order was made per 12 hours. Where? What have you done? What have you done? Apart from your usual press conferences. You think you can rule a country by press conferences? Because you hold a press conference, then a country is running. Then you are doing politics. It is because you don't have an aggressive opposition. I can tell you that. So those orders, vakavesha. Mwachira seka pana nikane pa social media, mwachumfa wino. Yeah. You know, you gave statements, but those statements are nothing. You didn't even need to talk to the country. What were you talking to the country? What were you telling the country? Repeating what the court said. What were you telling? What were you telling the nation? Who is interested in repeating what the court said? We all heard what the court said. So what was the point of those press conferences? What we needed is the direction. Now we have this situation. So, as a country, this is what we are doing. And this is what the citizens should expect. That is what you need. That is what you need. People need direction, not to be repeated on what we all heard. No. People need direction from government. And when is it going to come? At which point is it going to come? At which point? At which point is it going to come? At which point is it going to come? At which point are you going to give direction to the people? You had all this time. How come you were not prepared for this judgment? How come? How come? Taking charge, being in leadership, leading people. You are slacking. You are slacking. So, tomorrow is Saturday. But Patrick Kangwa, you don't have to wait for Monday. We need a statement tomorrow. We need a statement tomorrow. Because if you allow too much time, that's how these guys are beating you up. That's how they are beating you up. We need a statement tomorrow on what is the direction. I know you can be saying, no, but if no. Take charge. Take charge. Take charge. If you don't take charge, somebody else will take charge. If you don't take charge, somebody else will take charge. We should be moving now into the state funeral. We should be moving into the state funeral now. What is going to happen? Are we going to reset the state funeral? Probably, yes. We need to declare a state funeral again. And this is why you need government. You need mostly the president to come, because it's the president that cancelled. It's the president who cancelled the state funeral. So now, at this point in time, the government, the president would have come in to say, following the court, whatever, the country is going back into national mourning. By now, we should have done this. The president should have come, and following the judgment, the country is going back into national mourning. You may not declare because you are trying to sort out one or two things in South Africa. You may not declare it, the dates, but you can give that direction to say, we will advise when this national mourning will start. But at least the whole country will know to say we are going back to national mourning. You may not have, I know you may be sorting out a few things here and there, but just that declaration to say, Vane, the country will be going back into national mourning, is huge. It's huge. It's very huge. It's a big blow, even to those who are trying to appeal. But zona amaka kupwa. But imwena mwikara. Na mwikara. Tuala lala. Mairo in pasatade. Muka yana kuna nikane na kusabath. Muka yana kusabath. Pasande. Vakatolika na waka yana kuchurch. And you are waiting. Meanwhile, Didian Mutambo will be hammering. Emmanuel Mamba will be hammering. Baka vikemo na makebi Zulu. Baka vikemo na banani. Baka vikemo na... We need that statement from the president. We are going back to national mourning. Because that's what it is. There is no any other way. The national mourning was not cancelled, was not stopped. The national mourning was paused. And when do you counter? Because that's what they were telling you. They were saying, hey, the president cancelled the national mourning. The president cancelled the national mourning. So after this, you would have quickly come in and say, we are resuming. And people would have been saying, you see, we told you that they just cancelled it. They just paused it. You see? Just to make that announcement. That's it. Just to make that announcement. That announcement should have come to announce, telling the nation that we are going to resume national mourning. You may not give the dates, but at least just that announcement would have done a great deal for the people to start anticipating. Because then they would have started anticipating when the national mourning will recommence or will restart. In terms of the body, by now, based on the directives, you would have given the position to the country to say, we have secured the body, or we are still engaging the family because the family, are reluctant to give the body, or they went and hid the body too far. You would have given that position. You would have given that position. You would have given that position as we're talking tonight. Where is the body? Have you secured the body? Or you are still engaging the family? You would have given that situation. That is what Bakavesha should have been telling us about. Have you secured the body? People are eager to know, have you secured the body? If you haven't secured the body, why haven't you secured the body? You are a government, you are employed by the Zambian people. You're supposed to report to the Zambian people. That is accountability. That is accountability. Resuming the national whatever state funeral, the president should announce. But talking about the details of where the body, how far we have gone, Mr. Kwenyuman, Tabokawana should have come in by now. Because he's the spokesperson for the government. So you should have come in, Tabokawana should have come in and started explaining. And I'm telling you now, that Tabokawana, your job, Nchito ya Badwapa, start updating the nation. Every step of the way. Every step of the way, start informing the nation. Don't let Emmanuel Mwamba to be informing the nation. It is not a job of Patrick Kangwa. Patrick Kangwa is not a government spokesperson. Up now, you need to start updating the country on where the government has reached. And it is your job, Tabokawana. Tabokawana should have come in and to tell us to say, okay, according to the direction of the court, we have secured the body. Or the family is still holding on to the body. We don't know where they have hidden it. We want the body according to the court directives. So that we can make arrangement for repatriation. Don't allow this nonsense of appeal to confuse people. But Patrick Kangwa's job is now to draw a program. But Patrick Kangwa now would have been drawing the program. Drawing the program. And if there is any statement that would have come from Cabinet Office will intelligently bring in the information to say, we are drawing the program. We are drawing the program for the burial of our former head of state. And that program should include some of the things that the family wanted. But Patrick Kangwa, some of the start drawing the program. Forget about the appeal and whatever. He must lead the agenda. Start drawing the program. And in that program, include even those that may be saying, we are not coming. Include them. Include them. Include the First Lady. Include my Archbishop, Dr. Arik Banda. The family wanted Dr. Arik Banda to celebrate the mass for no, Collins Mwape is saying spokesperson is Mwetwa. No. You are right. Is a spokesperson, but in this situation, you need a civil servant. That's why I'm talking about Tabokawana. In this situation, talking about, after what happened there, after the court judgment, there it is supposed to be a civil servant. It's supposed to be a civil servant. So the civil servant is best to bring out these issues, and the Tabokawana would be the best person because he's a civil servant. When a court is won in, when a case is won in court, it is not for politicians. It is for the government. It is for the civil servants. So the best is Tabokawana because he's a civil servant. To talk about what government is doing. It's not a policy. Okay? This is not policy. Mwetwa talks on policy. Is a government spokesperson, but on policy. This is not policy. This is an implementation by government. And this is why a civil servant would be the best person to announce this. From cabinet office should be indicating, should intelligently. They don't have to issue a statement and whatever, because when the president has issued a statement, you cannot have Patrick Kangwa also issuing statements. But they can intelligently bring a narrative in the public that a program is being drawn. The program is being drawn. And this program is going to include the family members and all those that the so-called family wanted to be part of. Intelligently. And some of those people that should be included is the former First Lady herself. In that program, she should be included. And then Dr. Alik Banda should be included. And I'm sure you would not refuse. If Dr. Alik Banda flew all the way to South Africa to go and celebrate Mass, now that Edgar Lungu is coming to Zambia, I mean, that is the best way. That is good. I'm sure he should be happy to be part of the proceedings. I'm sure he'll be very happy to celebrate that Mass. And government, we know there are differences with Dr. Alik Banda. This is another way of showing that government is not emotive. This is another way of showing that government is not emotive. They should include Dr. Alik Banda. If he refuses, I mean, government should be able to communicate with people to say, Dr. Alik Banda, we called Dr. Alik Banda, and he's not willing. Dr. Alik Banda should be included in the program. He was included in the area program. He was imported into South Africa to celebrate Mass. Now that Edgar Lungu is going to come to Zambia, let him be included as well. So in other words, what I'm talking about here is that government should show that they are in charge. The government of Hakainde Hichilema, you are snoozing. And in some of these issues, you have allowed the propaganda spin doctors to turn the narrative against you. Even when you are doing right, it has messed up. On this issue, Teku Yumfwa, I had to step in because I saw what was coming. I saw how the propaganda was coming. And I had to quickly jump in. Even tonight, I'm talking. This is my second address. But I'm talking. Why? Because I know that if I don't, some people will take advantage. I was monitoring that Max Moore. What he was talking about, I was looking at him to say, this is nonsense. You should know what is currently prevailing. You should know what people are interested to hear. You may have won a by-election in Fue, but what do you think people want to hear? Do you think people want to hear about your victory in Fue? Today, do you really think people want to hear about your victory in Fue? Yes, Davis Chama has been jailed 8 years. Do you think people are interested to hear about that? That is for ZNBC. That is for ZNBC. But since you are a political spokesperson, this is where you just withdraw and you allow other people to come in and, you know, bring a narrative, one narrative. By UPND, you choke the public with information, and thereby your information is not effective. Munakwata press conference, mwetu alelanda, Max Moore alelanda, Jack Mwimbo alelanda. I mean, where did you learn about effective communication? Where did you learn? Where did you learn? You must have a narrative that you fuse into the public and let it sink in. Some of us, mulamuna, even Panana Ngundelanda, I keep repeating something. It is because I want that particular message to sink in the minds of the people. I spoke during the day. Now, Kavin de Wekeshapon de land. Now, my land, and I might be talking about the same issue. Same issue to let the information sink into people. No mbaimwe. How are you UPND mwandi? Uyale land. At the end of the day, people get nothing. People get nothing. They go and listen to Lilian Mutambo, who is telling them. They go and listen to Kachea Lady. Ichitumbi, mwamona fe chitumbi nomba, nga mwanekela fe chitumbi, nga bamona fe chitumbi, and people are listening. People are listening. So if you are snoozing. You are snoozing. Tomorrow is Saturday. Give the people direction. Give people direction. Give people direction. You may not be exact on the dates and whatever, but let people be looking up to you to say, Bala tueva. People will be told. Government will tell us. Not Mwikerefe Tondoro. I think I've spoken too much for a man that is in pain. But I will open phone lines just in case somebody wants to clarify something. I'll open phone lines. Just in case somebody wants to clarify something. If you want to clarify something, please, you can give me a call. I'm sure you know the number by now. You can give me a call if you want to ask something that you are not clear. Because I'm here as your public lawyer. I want you to know the truth. I speak objectively, not if you're propaganda. So, if you want to know something, it is at this point that you can call me, and I'll try and see if I can respond. Ignore the issue of the appeal. The appeal will not go anywhere. The appeal will not go anywhere. Just ignore that. The order still stands. And if the Hakainde Ichilema government, they move swiftly, the body can be in the country, very quickly. Very, very quickly. And I hope that they will move so that we can start planning. We need to restore the national mourning, We need to notify. I hope Mlambe Aimbe, you will work very well on that to make sure that we notify our diplomatic friends. I hope Mlambe Ahimbe, you will work around the clock to notify our diplomatic friends, because this confusion has caused many to move on. So we might have a situation where it's only us who are at that funeral. But if Mlambe Ahimbe works well, we can have our diplomatic friends, our allies, standing with us in this difficult moment. A national mourning must be reset to allow the country to get back into that somber mood in preparation for the burial. In spite of what has happened, we shouldn't bury as if we are having a wedding. We should bury in a somber manner. We should have our allies, our diplomatic friends standing with us. We should have them. It's very important. Tulalilana, especially in the region, we stand with each other. When a former head of state, when calamity, when a bereavement occurs, we stand together. Let not Zambia look like a country that is not considered. And this is a job of the Foreign Affairs Minister to ensure that we don't bury Edgar Lungu alone. Edgar Lungu was a former head of state. He had friends in the region. Friends, yes. By now they are thinking to say maybe they got frustrated by what happened. But we can remind them that, look, this is where we are now. And Mlambe Ahimbe has to do a good job on that. Cabinet office must make sure that even those that may not be in agreement with Hakainde Hichilema or with the government of Hakainde Hichilema are included in the program. You should not bring in the politics to say, no, given Lubinda cannot, Given Lubinda, as it is the acting president for PF. He's the acting president for PF. Put him there. Don't worry about what he's going to say. Don't worry about what he's going to say. It's okay. Let him come and also express himself. Whether he will be calling names, whatever, it's okay. But let him come. Include him there. Let people see that you are trying to unite the country. Let people see that you have called everyone. Those who will not come, at least people will be looking to say, she was called, but she's not here. He was called, but he's not here. I think itakuja ma clarification, so I can leave it there. Yeah, I can see people are trying to correct. No, it's not sombra, whatever. You understand what I'm trying to talk about. It's sungu inshafiero nacho, and I don't claim to be good. And I don't even want to be good. I'm not Kemi or Bedene. Katushinga ni Obedene ngani Obedene. I'm not. I'm chirufetayadi ndimu wemba wa kuzambia. So if isungu fienu. Anyway, I think I've made my point. But nabapata sana. Mwe wavuteko. Don't let things, take their own directions. Hold the agenda. Lead the country. That is about leading the country. Ngamwaikala tondolo, somebody else will take over. You may be in government, but somebody else is ruling. Ruling is not just being in power. There are people who are not in power, but they are ruling. So you can have the government, but somebody else is ruling the people. Politics school under. Not na mwikala zi. Anyway, natotela sana. Good night.